Hi, I'm Tisha,
Lauren.
and this is the Open Booked podcast. Today, we are talking about Silver Elite and celebrating 1 year. We have been at this crazy thing. We started
Yes.
Memorial Day weekend last year after some crazy tornadoes and no power.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Memorial Day, and it has been wild.
Yeah, a lot of life in a year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But first, what are you reading?
I just finished Silver Elite about 30 minutes ago, so I am fresh reactions, which I really actually like recording like right after.
Yeah.
I've started Shield of Sparrows on my Kindle, but I've been like locked in on Silver Elite. So I think I'll probably pop back over to that depending on what we're covering next week, which we haven't even talked about yet.
No.
So probably read that. I think I have a peaceful week at work, so maybe I can get some audiobooks in. It'll be exciting. What about you?
Not actually listening to anything yet or reading anything, but I have borrowed on Libby Aaron Slaughter's The Last Widow and Lauren Graham's Talking as Fast as I Can. That one's only like 5 hours, so I might do that one first just to get it out of the way. I love Lauren Graham.
Yeah.
And any Gilmore fans know that she does talk very fast, and sometimes it's hard to keep up, but that's kind of the fun of it. Yeah, I might do that one first.
Well, that's fun. Is it a part of a challenge or just because you wanted to do it?
Just because I wanted. I scrolled through the other night after I finished Silver Elite, just trying to see if anything that was available right now, and that was one of them. So I was like, okay.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Well, fun. I guess we need to talk about what we're reading for next week after this episode.
Yeah.
That might help.
Maybe.
Today is actually Memorial Day. We're recording this on Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day, everyone. It's been a rainy weekend in Arkansas, so I don't think there's been much hot dogs and beer, unfortunately.
And it's Bike Fest at NWA, so don't know how that's gone down. I have avoided all of downtown Bentonville because we saw it on Friday evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a hate-hate relationship with cyclists. So, you know what? I think I've decided anytime there's an influx of them, building upon the natural population here, I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate them. I think we probably talked about this in our first episode. If they didn't make our roads smaller to make them bike lanes and they still use our fucking roads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like they have so many miles and miles and miles of trails, and still they are taking out entire driving lanes in Bentonville, like 8th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And
by my work.
Yeah. They added a whole bike lane, but they always just end very abruptly. So it's like, where are they supposed to go?
Yeah.
This is the rocket science that did this. But then, yes, every Saturday or Sunday morning when I'm driving down Mount Olive, inevitably there's either a pack or one individual bike rider. And I'm like, dude, I get that you got to get somewhere, but drive it. Drive it down to Slaughter Pen or wherever, Kohler Creek, and go. But don't drive down the fucking road.
Yeah. It's just so disrespectful. You know what I've said I wanted to do for years and years, probably like 8 years at this point? I want to take a freaking Harley down the Razorback Greenway and see how they fucking feel. Bitch, on your left!
Get you one of those little, like, ringers. It's like, ding, ding.
Just get out the radio playing Move Bitch, Get Out the Way on repeat. Yeah, that would be that would be hilarious. We'd probably get arrested, though.
Yeah. You might make it a mile before you've got like 50 calls.
Yeah. Speaking of arrested, this is not on the agenda. I forgot to put it on here. But there is a, like, armed and dangerous prisoner on the loose in Arkansas right now. I guess he is in jail for rape and murder. And he got clothes, like, he was dressed like a correctional officer. Mm-hmm. They investigated it, and the clothes he was wearing were, like, homemade. He didn't steal them from an officer didn't give them to him. Somebody, he snuck them in, somebody mailed them in a pack. I don't know. They're investigating how he even got them. Walked out the fucking door. There's video of him, like, pushing a cart thing, walking out the door, and they are suspecting right now he's in the Benton County area, so I'm like,
cool.
So am I. casual.
Yeah, and they didn't even notice. I saw they didn't even notice until another inmate was like, "Hey, where's this guy?" What?
What the fuck?
So much for
What?
what, hourly checks to make sure
Yeah.
they're in their cells or where they're supposed to be.
Are there not cameras?
Like, isn't there supposed to be a guard like sitting watching all of the security cameras to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just can't even imagine. Why are people breaking out of fucking prison? This goes into another topic that I have, so we'll just skip to that one. But the Annabelle doll lore. Have you seen all that? We didn't talk about this last time, did we? I
Mm-mm.
don't think so. Okay. For those of you that don't know, the movie Annabelle is based on a real life doll, supposedly, that is haunted,
Mm-hmm.
demon. I don't know what to put it, okay? If you read our episode, or if you listened to our episode last week, you know Tisha and I believe shit, okay? So I'm sure you're not shocked to hear that we're like, there's a possessed doll.
Yeah.
But it started with they were going to take it on a tour. The family that owns the doll now is like the family from The Conjuring, right? That couple
The Warrens,
from,
yeah.
yeah, the Warrens from The Conjuring. Okay, I guess they died, right? So it's in their estate. Is that right? Are they still alive? It's a part of their estate. I know that. People have kept saying Warren's estate.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are saying this doll has gone on tour before, but I've seen a couple videos of women who are like, yeah, we went to true crime conventions and looked, and nobody got like a weird feeling around the doll, so they all thought it was like fake.
Mm.
Okay, so now it's on tour and people are saying it's the real doll. Now, all of this is lore, guys. We don't know if this is true or not. But the first stop was like the Waverly Penitentiary. I didn't hear of anything wild. Yeah, I didn't hear of anything wild happening with that.
Yeah. I've been there.
Yeah, I know you went on like that Travel Babes thing, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first stop. The second stop was New Orleans, Louisiana. The devil himself lives in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And the day or the day after this doll arrived there, like 11 people broke out of prison.
And the plantation burned down.
And the oldest, biggest, still like operational plantation burned to the ground. The crazy thing is, people saw, which I saw videos, and you know, with AI, it's so hard to believe anything.
Yeah.
But it looks like people were walking around, like shadows were walking around in there
Yeah,
while
I
it was
saw some of
burning.
those videos too.
And you're like, and then people say the shadows of the smoke looked like people shapes dancing on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
which again, AI makes it so hard these days.
Yeah.
But that all happened, and now the doll's on its way to Houston, or in Houston now. I haven't heard of anything crazy happening in Houston. But no, not now. It went to Houston, and now it's fucking missing.
Yeah.
As of like
She's
yesterday. So somebody stole her, or she ran away.
the idea that somebody would be dumb enough to steal her, knowing all of the stories about her, like, I guess the Roman Catholic Church and some other religious entity or whatever group has blessed her many times, but they only do it from afar. They won't touch her. They won't take her out of the glass case to do it. Like, they just like kind of toss holy water at her and they're like,
Yeah.
"Alright, keep moving."
Yeah.
But I can't imagine somebody would be dumb enough to steal her. That's just like a death sentence waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And I never realized it looked like a Raggedy Ann doll.
It is a Raggedy Ann doll. See, in the movie, they make it a glass doll.
Yeah, it was glass and it looked like one of the that you use with the strings. What are
Puppet.
those called? Yeah, like a marionette doll.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. And then I saw all of these TikToks and they show like the actual Annabelle. And I was like, wait a minute, that is not the one that I know of from the movie. Like, they won't even use
Yeah.
the real one for the movies because it's so haunted. Because
Yeah.
too many people would die on set or accidents would happen. Nobody's gonna fuck that.
No. And I have a childhood story here. I had Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls as a kid, as I'm sure everybody did. I think my older sister made me them, like hand sewed them. It was like a common thing when we were kids for that. And they, at first, I thought they were so cool. And I watched Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't supposed to. I snuck into my older brother's room, who was 6 years older than me or hid under the bed. I don't remember the whole story. I wasn't supposed to watch Chucky, and I did. And I compared them to Chucky. So Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls have always been like a creep factor for me, and this is just
Mm-hmm.
icing on the cake. Finding out that it's actually Raggedy Ann. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, creepy.
Yeah.
But maybe she will be located in a path of destruction.
Maybe.
Speaking of a path of destruction, Lilo and Stitch live action just came out. Did you guys go see it yesterday?
We did.
We went and saw it Thursday. I
Not
loved
my
it.
favorite.
Wait, you didn't like it? What did you
It
not
was
like?
okay. It was okay, but it wasn't. I don't know. I'm just a purist in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that animated is so cute and perfect.
It
And
is.
this changed several things about it, which were good changes, but also like the Cobra Bubbles and the what
Yeah.
you call it, the social worker, like not being the same person. That was a big change. I was like,
Well,
okay.
you know, the person who was the social worker was actually voiced Nani in the original
Mm-hmm.
one. They made
Yeah.
that role for her to be able to be in it. Jesse's only complaint was Cobra Bubbles wasn't like a big buff enough dude.
Yeah. I'm like, you can't just put any random black guy with no hair in there and
Yeah.
call him Cobra Bubbles.
Yeah.
No.
I like
And
how
then they
true
didn't
it
have
did
the
stick
other,
to it though.
yeah, they didn't have the other police guy from the
Oh yeah.
intergalactic whatever. They didn't
Yeah.
have him come in at all. I was like, okay. And two, I think.
Yeah, the casting though of Nani Lilo.
Yeah. It was very good.
Lilo, that girl has a bright future.
Yeah.
She killed it. Like she might really be Lilo in real life.
She was talking to Stitch and she was like, my only superpower is when I run fast, I fart. The voice
Yeah.
thought that was the funniest thing ever. Caitlin's still been saying it.
Yeah. And it was the same guy that voiced Stitch too. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Disney remakes go, it's better than a lot of them.
Yeah, Zach Galifianakis being in it.
I didn't like his. I don't think that guy was like.
No,
I don't know. I liked the other guy. I think he did a good job of being the weirdo.
Yes, the crossdresser.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I questioned so many times. It's like, is that him? Is it not? Like his voice is the same, but it doesn't even look like him. I don't know what he's done.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look like the Hangover.
He doesn't. He's just aged, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't look the same at all. Music was good. They had the same songs and everything. I told Jesse as we were walking in, if they don't play Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride, I'm out. They did, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised they didn't have more Elvis, but
yeah, I mean they had that scene at the end, and but you know Stitch was obsessed with Elvis, and I mean, and it may have been more prevalent like in the series or the other movies. I don't remember it as much. I should have watched like refresh, but that scene on the beach where they let him go was like literally the same exact lines as the movie. So I'm glad they didn't change that, the original.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Okay. Next on the list, Morgan Wallen released a new album.
Yes.
Chef's Kiss, in my opinion. Yeah, there's only one song I don't like. And it's not necessarily that I don't like it. It's the Tate McRae song.
I didn't like Miami, Miami. I didn't. I'm like, I don't feel like it's close at all to the original. I don't know.
It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. He's just he doesn't even say Miami, I don't think. He just says Miami, like, just because it's about going to Miami. And he likes Keith Whitley, but I don't know, I think it has a good, like, trap beat, you know? Which is, like, Morgan Wallen's known for.
Yeah.
But I don't like Tate McRae. Cancel me. I think everyone thinks she's so hot. Not saying I'm a supermodel or anything, but, like, I don't see it. Her voice sounds like a wannabe Britney Spears. You know what I think she can do? She can dance. Good for her. Her songs, I can't even name one of them. I'm like, ugh. You know?
Yeah, no. I think I've only ever heard, like, collabs that she's done. I don't think she has her own song that I've ever heard.
Yeah, and people are, like, obsessed with her. Like, true pop star. I'm like,
where?
No, Dua Lipa. If we're talking pop stars, like, that's who I think of. Her songs are catchy. She can dance. She's pretty. Triple threat.
Yeah.
But anyways, I've been listening to that shit like crazy, and I love it. Oh, 37 songs. Gonna take me a while to memorize. I think I got a couple already, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Don't We is going to be a concert bop. I can already tell.
100.
It's going to be every redneck in the place with beers up screaming, Don't We.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Good song.
And what that Jeremy misread it last
Where'd
night.
that go? Where'd that girl
Where'd that
go?
girl go?
Yeah.
He thought it said what that girl do. I was like, no, 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 no.
No. Can we talk
He's
about
like
20
that.
cigarettes though?
Yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah. I like I said, I texted you the morning it came out. I was like, I've already listened to all of it once. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was driving from like 3 to 7 something in the morning. I was like, you know what? His new album's out. Let's go.
Yeah, love it. Okay, still some more lore and such to go through before we dive in. Just a generic brief update on the Diddy trial. It's ongoing. I haven't really heard anything from the trial. They're not letting cameras in, so I get like reports at the end of the day. I have heard that there's a lot of fake shit going around. Like, they were saying that there was videos of Prince, and then an attorney that was in the courtroom made a video like, hey, like, that's not true. Like, a lot of shit on the internet right now about Diddy is not true. And so I'm having a hard time finding what to even talk about because I see so much of that. So it's ongoing. I think once the court records get released, you'll have people making like accurate videos. But since there's only a select number of reporters, attorneys, things like that in there, it's going to probably be hard to get like real information.
Yeah.
TMZ has a reporter in there. I know TMZ is like a trashy thing, but they're not gonna lie. I don't think like they do have been doing daily updates, but still, it's like who knows what's true. But I did hear a theory, and I can't find the video now, so I wonder if it got taken down about Michael Jackson. You know, everyone, I grew up, my parents always told me he was like a pedophile. I don't know if everybody thought that way, but I grew up thinking that he was a pedophile and he was creepy and the Neverland and all this shit. And then when Diddy's shit started happening, I heard that people were saying that Diddy killed him. And he was on like the list of people possibilities because I guess they had beef and they were neighbors. There is people now that think that Michael Jackson was a setup because his Neverland was trying to rescue kids from Diddy. I don't know how true it is, but it kind of makes you rethink everything, you know? I'm like, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But now that we know for sure it was Diddy, it's kind of like, okay, who else really wasn't? Maybe that is now dead.
Yeah. I'm sure lots of people.
Yeah. And I can't find the video, so I don't have like more to elaborate on than that, but that was like the gist of it, and there was a lot more to it. I just can't remember. If I find the video, I'll send it, but it was like, make you think. Speaking of legal stuff, we have a Taylor Swift Blake Lively update. Apparently, they have stopped subpoenaing Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift cooperated and provided them with everything that they were asking for, which we're assuming are text messages. Also, it came out, this is from Justin Baldoni's attorney, so it's not bullshit, that Blake was witness tampering, pretty much, Taylor Swift, blackmailing her and telling her that if she didn't post a message of support, she was going to leak their, 10 years of text messages or something like that.
Yep. And Scott Taylor Swift shut it down.
Yeah. It's like, I don't give a fuck who you are. That she may be the most famous pop star in the world, but she's still my child. Yeah. So respect him for that.
Yeah. And that just, again, shows Blake's character and the fact that she's going to try to blackmail one of her best friends into supporting her falsely is just such a shitty move.
Yes. It shows that she's a problem.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of knew that, but
yeah, she's going to be hard pressed to find any real friends moving forward for sure.
I just hope they televise the trial. I doubt they will because there's going to be so many celebrity names in there like Diddy. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Justin will push for it like Johnny Depp did.
Maybe.
But that trial's still not set for a very long time, and we're still seeing shit like that happening, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, the AMAs are tonight, and everyone thinks that she's about to announce Rep TV, and I think they're all clowning just like we've been all month for ACOTAR 6.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I I could see it because she did release the remake of Look What You Made Me Do in The Handmaid's Tale, which,
Yep. Which is why everyone started freaking out.
yeah, yeah. So I watched it and it said that the ninth episode was the newest. So I think there's still one more. And they got a whole lot of shit to wrap up. So if that wasn't the end of it, or if that was the end of it, I'm gonna be real pissed because we've been working on this for how many years and
Like
there's gotta
10,
be more. Yeah.
I feel like. Damn. Well, I guess we'll see tonight. I ain't gonna watch it, but I'll watch clips on TikTok.
For sure. Always.
Yeah, the freaking award shows are boring to me. People will make a compilation video of all the best moments, and I'll watch those.
Yeah.
In other news, United Healthcare is getting investigated by multiple things, but mainly the Department of Justice for Medicaid fraud.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck them bitches.
It's about time.
Yes.
And while we're at it, let's go after all of the other
all of them.
health insurance companies and then let's let that trickle down into auto and homeowners and all of the other insurance companies that are racketeering and price gouging and just completely dropping people because they live in a specific area. Like,
I have
stop.
a story about State Farm. Since it's the 1-year anniversary of the tornado that we did an insurance claim on because we didn't insurance claim our back fence because my husband did it and he would just fix it. And with the deductible, it would have been like way, way more than what it would cost him to just fix it. So we took the L on that one, right? But our roof was damaged. There was hail, significant sideways winds. We had shingles all over the yard. We did an insurance claim. They kept sending different people out. Nothing ever happened with it. And then kind of rainy season went away and we just kind of were like, whatever, we'll try again later. So then, into winter, my husband's like, okay, spring's coming. We need a new roof. Like, it's probably going to start leaking. It's a problem. So he tries to, like, get that claim going. And they're like, oh, they just closed it and denied it without even telling us. So that's number one problem after sending multiple people out. So then he's like, okay, reopen it. They sent 3 different adjusters, transferred our claims 3, 4, 5 times. I think it's a tactic to get people to give up.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, this needs a wind specialist. This needs a hail specialist. This needs this. And Jesse's like, I don't give a fuck who. But somebody needs to come out here. I've been paying insurance to you guys for 10 years, never made a claim. I need a new fucking roof. My town was hit by an EF4 tornado. Like, that should be like a automatic, you get a new fucking roof. Everybody in our neighborhood has new roofs. They must not have State Farm. So then finally, we get an adjuster that says, okay, we're going to buy you a roof. Great. We get the first check in the mail. We're lining things up. We are going to start getting it as it sits right now next week or the week after. We're going to do some home upgrades with it where we're paying the difference. There's nothing insurance has to worry about, anything. I get a letter in the mail that if we don't replace our roof by the end of July, that they're dropping us because of our roof's condition. So then my insurance, I was like, what the fuck? My insurance lady calls me the next day and says, hey, I don't want you to freak out, but, and I was like, what? She's like, no, they didn't know you have an active claim. And this, and I said, the claim's been active for a year. My husband's been fighting for us to get a new roof because we were hit by a tornado. And you are going to drop me because you were, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. So that is a sensitive subject for me right now, but we're getting it done and we just have to get it done by the end of July or else they're going to drop us. We've never made a claim. We've had them for 10 years.
At that point, I'd be dropping them as soon as it's done.
Yeah. That is,
you know, it's only going to get worse.
Like, the fact that they would drop us after the attempted claims, I'm like, do their systems not talk? How many different adjusters? How much we've been through to try to get a new damn roof?
And you know that just costs them more money to send all those adjusters. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the tactic is most people would give up and just do it themselves. I think that's what it is.
100%. It's ridiculous.
So, hope they all go down. Okay, last bit of yap before we get into the book. I think they found Noah's Ark. Did you see this shit?
Yeah, the, like, radar under the ground.
Yeah. So it's a mountain in Turkey that they've always said, like, looks like a boat. And it's really close to Mount Sinai, which in the Bible, supposedly that's where the Ark landed. They did it underground, like sonar, radar, whatever. And the specifications for the biblical measurements and everything are the same.
Exact. Yeah.
Exact. I literally have goosebumps right now. I'm like, holy shit, that could be like the biggest historical find ever.
Yeah.
Because, no one's found the Ark of the Covenant. But that would be insane. And Turkey, that's like the area that you would think. Like the Fertile Crescent, that's where like everything started. So that is, unless you ask that guy, he thinks that it's all Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty. I mean, anybody, whether you're a Christian or not, if you enjoy history, that's a huge find. That is a huge find. Probably one of the oldest things ever.
Yeah.
So
super cool.
Yeah, for sure. I hope more comes out on it. There are also like so much going on in Egypt. We've talked about this before. So as I see stuff, I'll put it on our agenda. But I just feel like as long as we've been here, we're still finding stuff is so cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have been an archaeologist like Indiana Jones.
Right?
Or like Evie from The Mummy, a librarian, but finds shit, Yeah. Okay, shall we dive in?
Yes.
Okay, first and foremost, who the fuck is Danny Francis? Now that we've read it,
I want to know.
Now that we've read it, what do we think? Oh, wait, spoilers, y'all. For the whole book, Silver Elite. Okay.
I don't know, because I don't feel like it's Coho.
It's not Coho, I'm convinced. The sex scenes weren't graphic enough to be Coho.
Yeah. And there's, like you said, it sounds a lot like fan fiction for Onyx Storm or the whole series, but I don't know. It could be Elsie Silver, but I really think a lot of people are just making that connection because it's so close to Silver Elite. But I don't know. And I dove deep trying to find anything on Danny Francis, and there's nothing out there.
It's a pen name.
They have never existed before now, and I feel like it has to be a woman because of the like author whatever information, but I just don't know who it could be.
Yeah. I voted based on just watching some videos of other people's opinions. I landed on Elsie Silver. And what solidified it for me is not the name, but the cowboy aspect. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
She writes cowboy romances. She's known for that. And the girl's nickname by the Riddick character is Cowgirl.
Yeah.
She lived on a ranch. Like, rode a horse. There is those elements in which I want to talk about that when we talk about this book, is there is modern fantasy with Yellowstone vibes for, like, you know what I mean? Like, she's a rancher. She raises cattle. She rides a horse, has a rifle, whatever, but it's also like modernistic. Like, they have the comms and there's cameras everywhere and silent alarms. And I'm like, okay, so we get like this little sliver of redneck. We get this like fantasy magic style. It's not really magic. It's a mutation from radiation. It's very unique. It's not like that aspect in itself is very unique. Now, the characters and the command and that very much gives Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
They changed it a little bit to be like it's his dad, but he's the Zayden. Cross is Zayden, she's Violet. What's his face is Riddick. The other girl's Rhiannon, but went bad. I mean, and then Ford, Garrick. I mean, this feels like Fourth Wing fan fiction. This is the 50 Shades of Grey to the Twilight. You know what I mean? Like, this is what that is.
Yeah.
Not saying I didn't love it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Cross is definitely a book boyfriend.
Yes. I am excited and ready for the next one. And I haven't seen anything about when it's going to come out.
And it literally just came out, so we're fucked.
Yeah.
Just like on Onyx Storm, Metal Slinger, now Silver Elite. I still think about Metal Slinger and that ending. You remember?
Yes. Yeah. Like, we need all of this to move a lot faster. Like, don't even present us with the first one until you have the second one done so that it can be sent to print and be out in 6 weeks. Like,
yeah.
Just stop doing this to us.
Yeah, enough is enough.
Yeah. You'd make the same amount of money,
Yeah, seriously.
if
And
not
then
more,
just when
because
you
I'm more
run out,
interested.
yeah, I'm more interested. When you run out of money, just create a special edition with sprayed edges and we'll buy them all over again.
Yeah.
They should just
We're
ask us
really,
for business advice.
yeah, I'm like, we're really marketing geniuses. So come on.
We are your target demographic.
Literally.
Look behind me. I'm your target demographic right here. How many copies of Fourth Wing do I have? Don't ask. Too many. Okay, let's talk about some characters or big reveals. We'll start with that. Of everything, what surprised you the most and what did you figure out? We kind of texted about this a little bit.
The thing that surprised me most was Kane.
Yes. Kane. I keep wanting to call him Riddick. Kane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yep.
was really sad when I thought he died, and then he didn't. And I was like, oh, thank God.
I know. I liked him. I was a little disappointed that he like sacrificed the other people,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
happy at the same time because I do like him. Shocked how big this rebel operation was because at the
Yes.
beginning of the book it sounded like really small, not organized. Like that maybe that's not what they meant, but that's the vibe that I put together
Mm-hmm.
from the way that things were presented in the book. But
Yeah.
obviously not.
Mm-mm.
Obviously not. So that was a good. The thing that surprised me the most that I wasn't happy about was which friend turned her in. Which
Yeah.
person turned her in.
Yeah. That pissed me off. I was like, are you
Mhm.
kidding me?
Yeah. Little goody goody two shoes, bitch.
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah.
I
But
was also surprised that in the letter that he told her to burn after she read it, which
yes.
also gave me weird Brian Laundrie vibes.
Yes. I didn't even think about that. That's a good comparison.
That the mom like turned on her people.
Yes.
So I was like, wait, this is like a double agent
Which
situation, or what is this?
I kind of got the vibe that that's what's going to end up happening with
With her,
Rin
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I got the vibe the whole time. I'm like, oh, her and Cross are going to end up like doing their own thing against both of them because they both
Yeah.
have gotten so far off track. Like, especially when that bitch fried his dad's mind. You could tell
Yeah.
that was over Rin's line.
Oh yeah.
Not just because she loves Cross, but that was like over her line. Like, you don't just fry people's minds. So then she starts
Yes.
thinking, all those people whose minds are fried, did they do it?
Yeah. And are they, because like they were all in that room, are they testing on them to see if they can bring them back from frying their mind, or
Yes.
what's going on? Yeah.
Not experiments, but trying to find a cure.
Mm-hmm.
But do I think either of them, right now, I'm not really rooting for either the Command or the Rebels. I think they're both fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just rooting for Rin and Cross to survive.
Yeah.
But that was the two biggest shocks for me. I was not shocked that Cross was Wolf. There were a lot of context clues for that. Tisha and I both, we knew it. Because there would be like Cross, and then they would start talking about Wolf. It was just the way that she set it up.
Yeah.
It had to be him. And I'm glad. It was beautiful. It's nothing I am complaining about. I love it.
Yeah.
Again, the magic in this or what powers in this are so unique. I did really like that about this book. I think Rin ultimately could go bad too. Like her power to incite. Woo!
Yeah.
She ever
and
learned
can't
how to
figure out
use
how to
it.
control it. Yeah.
She did that one time at the end. So
Yeah.
that's a start. And she may even have more power she doesn't know about. That's the thing. She wasn't like, but with her being there at the rebel place, I could see her getting some like actual formal training and finding out she has even more powers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
But what are the odds?
I think the second one is probably going to be like them working with the rebels and trying to figure out how to overturn all of that. But I think, like you said, kind of under the veil of darkness, she and Cross are going to try to find a way to save his parents because they've both been scrambled. And they're going to try to find a way to, like you said, probably in the third book, to make the two kind of work together or just get rid of all the rest of them and find the people that are just trying to live their lives.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people out there who probably are just like, I just want to live. Like, they don't really care. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I wonder how many there's going to be. Like, this book is obviously doing very well. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully that motivates the author, if they haven't already started on book 2, to like get with it.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about how Rin, during the Silver Block training, she kept finding herself saying we and then be like, no, them, we. She was confused, like, where do I fit? Who am I in all of this? So when she
Yeah.
found out that Cross was Wolf, I feel like that's the first time she's like, okay, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And she drastically changed her mind when he got mad at her and was like, shit, I'm telling him everything. And when she told him she could incite too, I was like, oh shit, that was one thing. Like 2 chapters before, she was like, I'm taking that to the grave.
Yeah.
So the only people who know that she can incite is Cross. Literally, that's it. Alive
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But I mean, the mind control itself, mind reading, yeah, yeah,
And then the
very.
healing. Like
I
she
think
said
that
that
was
she
a
could
lie.
heal.
I think that
Yeah, I
was a
was like,
lie to
wait a
make
minute.
herself sound helpful.
Huh. Yeah, because I was like, why didn't she just heal herself a little bit rather than having to bring in that special healer?
Yeah. Her 4 powers are telepath,
Insight.
project, insight, and mind reading.
Mm-hmm.
Or memory reading, whatever.
Yeah.
The precog is cool that girl could do. Insane. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. I'd call that her character development
Mm-hmm.
throughout the book, being like, who am I? What am I a part of?
Yeah. And then I wonder if she doesn't have more powers that she doesn't know about yet.
Yeah,
Like she'll grow into them.
she might. She's young.
Yeah.
Also, just something I just thought about as she was talking to Wolf on her way back from leaving the inn where she ran into him not knowing after she was running from that Jordan soldier guy, and he was laughing about giving soldiers heck or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, full circle. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely a Cross fan. I don't really like. I say I at first I didn't like hate his older brother. I was like, he's just like a check the box.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have this kind of character. But
Yeah.
now the way Cross was talking, you think my dad was bad. There's more to him than we don't know. So
For
we're
sure.
gonna probably see more of Big Bro.
Yeah, because I feel like his brother's going to step into the leadership role since his dad's been scrambled, and that's where they're going to see like all of his darkness come out,
Yeah,
and
and
she's going to be
Cross
like,
not going with her.
yeah,
Yeah, Cross not going with her to the rebel base too. At least he sent his friend, who they now have detained, but hopefully they'll prove him innocent since he saved her. Okay, let's see. This is a perfect enemies to lovers trope, but they didn't know they weren't really enemies because they knew each other for years. The love triangle potential. I think that's hilarious. But okay, so I need more. There's a hole. He told on them,
yeah,
and now he's alive, so she can give him shit about it.
yeah, yeah. I was surprised that he told.
Jealous.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like it's going to be very much a like Gale and PETA situation, I
Yes.
think. Like
Yes.
she needs one, but she loves one, and they may not always be the same one.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see how Cross reacts when she like links up with him because we just got her saying, "Hey, I'm safe. I'm here. I'll talk to you later." So
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna have to link with him and be like, "Hey, they have Ford in custody. Kane's alive. Surprise!" And he's gonna be like, "What the fuck? He's that like hotshot pilot that never misses." And I think he's gonna get jealous as fuck. Which
Yep.
we love a jealous book boyfriend. So no complaints from me about that.
Yeah, I think that'll be when he finds a way to join her
Mm-hmm.
because he's gonna be like, I can't leave her alone there with him.
Mm-mm. Nah, not my woman. Also, she called herself his girlfriend in his head, and no one has addressed that since. It was just said once. It's
Yeah.
like, something about how his dad needs someone he can trust implicitly, and he's like, yeah, says the mod with the mod girlfriend. He trusts you implicitly.
Yeah.
And he like laughed, and I was like, shit. She just said girlfriend. I
Yeah.
mean, they've said the L word, so I think
Yeah.
they're past that. But okay, let's talk about the world building, pacing, narrative style. Love, love, love. I feel like it was easy world building to follow. I
Yeah.
stayed interested in the plot. It kept me going. I didn't get bored. Pacing was good, enough action to
Mhm.
keep us. I just feel like this was a very well written novel. This is
Yeah.
not a rookie.
Yeah, that's what I can't imagine what genre this person would have come from if it's not Elsie to know how to do this so well, but they want their name hidden. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I say this is what's talking me out of Coho. Coho has switched genres before
Mhm.
and gotten out of her comfort zone and kept her same name. The only reason I was voting for her before was because of the It Ends With Us drama.
Yeah,
So this
which
is someone
everyone would
who's
understand. Yeah.
everyone would understand. Yeah. This is someone way out of their comfort zone that's afraid to take a risk.
Yeah.
It's obviously paying off, so maybe they'll just own it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Or they may just say, hey, I'm a fan fiction author from Reddit that has decided to take the leap, and it's fan fiction, but it's great.
Yeah,
Unique
that's so good.
magic. Yeah. Um, I do like that it's in first person. The last 8 books we read for the pod were in third person,
Yeah.
which I feel like at certain points is good, but
Mhm.
I in this book I feel like it had to be first person.
Yeah. I mean, the way that she can talk to people in their minds, like, I don't know how else you could do that without being first
Exactly.
person.
Do you feel like there's any plot points or character arcs that remain unsolved?
Not really unsolved, but I definitely want to know more about the parents, like how they got there and why they reached out to her uncle, Jim, whatever, to make that happen. What were they going through to get there? We need a
Yeah,
prequel.
I agree with that. I need the backstory. What made the mom betray? I think that would give the whole thing away. So that
Probably.
may be something we get after the series is complete. Because I
Yeah,
think it's going to have an impact. For it to be the
for
last
sure.
thing in the last page of this book, jaw dropping, okay, it's over, it's impactful.
Yeah.
That was intentional. So I agree. I also think this is just my guess if we're going on a that this is a fourth wing fan fiction that the Livy girl, what's her name? The friend that turned on her? Jade? No.
I don't remember.
What whatever friend that turned on her, I think
Hmm.
something bad is going to happen to her that makes her change sides and we may have a redemption arc from her as well.
That'd be nice.
Let me think. This is just my guesses. Not necessarily that anything's open ended or unresolved. I just think there's more to be said on several things, like Cross's relationship with his older brother,
Hmm.
Ro, little shit. There's a lot more to Cross's family, obviously. You get a very little bit of insight there. And we talked about the people that were, what did she call them? That were, couldn't handle the mind. They kept calling them, you know what I'm talking about, where she ran into them in the clinic, the experiment people. I think there's going to be
Yeah.
more to that for sure. There may be another big bad force with that area that no one's seen in hundreds of years, that no one's entered. You know what I'm talking? They mentioned that a couple times. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that this may be some foreshadowing for them having to go there, just like the dark place that they went. No one ever comes out. Well, she hiked all the way through it and lived in it for 3 years. So there could be people in that other area they were discussing that we don't know about. Maybe they're bad or good, and there's going to be another force come into play here, I think.
Yeah.
Just my guesses.
Chapter I remember texting you and saying something about chapter 37. Do you remember what happened there? Because I've already forgotten.
I'm pretty sure that was a good sex scene.
Maybe.
Liddy is the friend's name.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
close.
yeah.
I kept saying Livy.
One of my notes was who is Julian Ash? It was
Yeah.
her uncle, but I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's called the Wastes. That no one has entered in over a century. It's a forbidden zone shrouded in secrecy and fear, with its true nature and the reasons for its abandonment remaining unclear.
Hmm.
So I think that is going to be. I
And
think
then
that.
the dark place that they went, no light can be there. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
like the
how?
light extinguishes itself.
Yeah, like how does the magic work there that you can't see any light?
Yeah, that part, I'm like, even if you put a flame, it would extinguish itself. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Wait, that's the same place. The
Wait, the waste
waste.
and the dark place?
Yeah. They say no one's entered in over a century, but she lived there.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna get a lot more information about that place and like all of the creatures that are there and how
Mm-hmm.
they're affected.
Yeah.
Because
There's a map.
like when they're in there, she's like, watch out for these and this creature and this and that. And he's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
He's
There
like,
is a map.
you're joking, right? And she's like,
Yeah, and she's
no.
not. Also, look at these beautiful sprayed edges. The moment for
Yes.
them.
Yep, that's the one I'm gonna order because, like I said, I almost bought it at Books a Million, but it was only silver edges, and I was like, no, 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 it's way prettier on Books a Month.
Yeah. Okay, so Lawless Lands, Airfields, Red Post, Black Lands. That's what I was. That's what
Yeah.
I thought it. Okay, so
So
they
wait,
call the
what's
Black Lands and the Waste the same thing. I'm gonna ask
okay?
real quick.
What's the difference in the Lawless Lands then?
Okay, ChatGPT, what are you doing? Okay, in Silver Elite by Danny Francis, the Blacklands and the Waste are distinct regions within the continent's setting. The Waste is characterized by its complete darkness and has remained unexplored for over a century. It's shrouded in mystery and fear, with its true nature and the reasons for its abandonment being unclear. The Waste symbolize the unknown and the dangers that lie behind the controlled territories of the continent. The Blacklands. While specific details about the Blacklands are less prominent in the first book, they are mentioned as a separate region. The exact true nature and significance of the Blacklands are not fully explored in Silver Elite, suggesting that it may be further developed in future installments. So here's the map. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
So that's where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
They were up here in the continent, and then there's the Lawless Lands above, which I don't even remember mentioning of that.
Mm-mm. I'm sure it'll come in the next one a lot, probably.
Yeah, and then like they were going from here to here. That's called base camp. Is
Why does
that
that
where
look like the U.S. into South America?
it does? It looks like Mexico down to the Panama Canal right there. Is base camp the where she goes for?
The training,
Yeah.
I think so.
Or is that where she goes to meet the rebels at the end of the book?
I don't know.
GPT's helping me out over here, even though it's evil. The dagger, central hub for the uprising. Okay. It's called The Dagger, so it's not on the map. Probably didn't want to spoil it. About the author. Danny Francis is an avid reader, a lover of all things breakfast, a hopeless romantic. When she's not creating high-stakes fantasy worlds and complex characters, you can find her spending time with her family or trying to figure out why the printer never works. Is that the same one we read?
Yeah, and I looked it up to see if that, like, why the printer never works was in somebody else's biography somewhere, maybe, and I couldn't find anything. And I wonder if maybe it's not somebody that's already in fantasy or romance and they're like, am I really good? And this is just a way to confirm that. So if I can start brand new under a new name and still have the same success, then maybe I am good.
Okay. Did you read the acknowledgments? I'm going to read it if you guys are good with it. I think this might give us some clues. This book was an absolute joy to write. Ren, Cross, and the rest of the Silver Elite crew took me on a wild ride, and I loved every second of it. With that said, I wouldn't have survived the writing process without the help of some pretty incredible people, Emily Archibald and Sam Bradbury, my tag team editing duo, who were always happy to hop on a call and talk plot, or just argue about love triangles, and Team Edward versus Team Jacob, ... There's no argument here. Edward, obviously. You guided this book towards its best version, and I thank you for that. Emily Archibald. There's more. Let me read through. Amy Musk, Kimberly for championing this project. Start funding. Okay. My family, especially my favorite sister, you know which one you are, for accepting that 5 more minutes actually means 3 more hours of writing and not calling the cops when I disappeared on my week-long caffeine-fueled writing binges.
Oddly enough, that actually sounds like Lucy's score.
Yeah.
And the way that she talks about her family and editor. But I searched Emily Archibald editor and nothing comes up.
Massive shout out to my early readers and my proofer for pointing out that I use the word heart way too much.
It's going to be a mystery for a while until somebody slips up or something happens and we all figure it out together.
Yeah. Del Rey, 2025 by Penguin Random House.
So does she, I wonder if Emily works at Penguin Random House.
Yeah, she may be an editor there. ChatGPT, who is Danny Francis? While promotional materials describe Danny Francis as an avid reader and hopeless romantic, speculation has arisen regarding the author's true identity. Some discussions suggest that Danny Francis may be a pseudonym for an established author venturing into a new genre or seeking privacy. However, no official confirmation has been provided, and the author's identity remains undisclosed.
Yeah, I feel like we're all gonna have to do a deep dive and figure out who this is because I'm so curious.
One video I saw, someone had deep dove into someone who was like, all y'all freaking out who Danny Francis is. I know who she is. And they went and like sleuthed her followers, and traced it back to Elsie Silver. I don't know how true
I think I
that
saw that
was.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, but their Instagram is good. They first posted in November.
The book came out like last month or something, so they're starting to prep.
Yeah. Galleys are on their way to a mailbox near you.
A ton of people got arcs too. I don't know when those went in.
Yeah. And Del Rey Books is based in the UK.
That's another thing. She, in her acknowledgments, thanks a lot of UK stuff. So who is... Okay, here's another thing. This bitch might be Scottish. Because how many times did they say keen or kin? That is a Scottish term of understand, right, got it.
Yeah.
I know that from Outlander, guys. So this girl might be Scottish or English.
I think it's Scottish.
The keen kin is a dead giveaway for Scottish.
Yeah. Huh. Be elite, join my mailing list. You better believe I'm gonna join that mailing list.
Join that shit.
There's an exclusive to first print run. They had a blue sprayed edges and silver foiled design under the dust jacket. That was announced December 4th.
How many likes is she getting back then?
That post only got 512.
That's a lot for someone just creating it in November.
Yeah. Damn, they had a pre-order to get 25% off on Waterstones.
Waterstones is UK.
Yeah. So all of the promotion up until it came out was not US based.
That's why we didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah. Paste Magazine wrote a big review of it. Goodreads giveaway had a copy that you could win in April. And then their grid, so they went through each character. Ren, Cross, Liddy, Kane, another Ren, praise, Cross, more praise for the book, Cross, slang.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even read that one. Don't bother.
Interesting.
Don't bother me. I'm reading Silver Elite. # unavailable for when it launched. Instant bestseller. May favorite staff pick at Apple Books. And then their top 3 boxes on their grid says, trust no one, lie to everyone, don't fall for your enemy. Account run by assistants Nikki and Kryn.
Okay, so we need to see who the assistants are for Elsie Silver.
There's so many posts that she's tagged in though because of it. I'm like, holy cow.
Elsie is? Or that?
No, Danny Francis.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we'll keep diving on that.
Yeah, sounds good.
And we'll figure out what we're going to read and be back next week. So join us for that. Be sure to follow our socials. Leave us a comment if you have an idea of who Danny Francis might be IRL. Or if you've read this, if you liked it, what your thoughts were, what you might think is going to happen in the next 2 books, because it is a confirmed trilogy.
Okay, good.
If you didn't watch our last week's episode with our tinfoil hats, go check that out and let us know if we need to do more of those, if you agree or disagree, or we're just crazy. But I think that's all for this week, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.